Being lonely or feeling loneliness is one of those things that it's always noticeable when it happens. Sometimes we might not know when we're stressed or even frustrated. We get lost in the moment. And only after we realize we're biting down or our shoulders are tense or we're kind of tensing our body and stuff like that is when we notice stress. But when feeling lonely, it's one of those things that you notice because you are typically alone. Or maybe you're in a group setting and something sticks out and you're just looking around. You look at everyone interacting with each other and you're just kind of there, stuck in an introspective moment, thinking about how you differ from these people or how, even though you're in a group, you still feel alone for whatever reason. And that's one of those things that a lot of people, I believe, today are struggling with. I see this happen a lot on social media. I see a lot of people talking about this online. And there's so many topics and conversations about it. Some people blame it on the events from 2020 where we had to stay inside and, stay away from people for about a year and a half. Some people may blame it on the social climate currently of what's going on and how things have moved to a more digital space and people prefer to stick online and do online things rather than go out in the world and experience groups and people. And then you have others who talk about how people would rather stay in cliques and groups and not step outside of them to find new people and to connect with newer individuals or welcome them into their group. Now, I think it's a combination of a lot of these things, maybe all of them and more that I didn't list. If you have anything to note, please let me know in the comments down below. But even as an introvert, it becomes something that is very noticeable. It's late at night. You're doing what you typically do. Maybe you're playing a game, watching a show, working on something. But then you sit back and then you start feeling a sensation of being alone and a little bit more than that. And then you might start thinking, about your days and how you're usually doing things alone. And you're going to the store and going back home. You're going to work. You're going to school. And it's like a cycle. And for me personally, these types of things do become very noticeable. And like I said, I'm an introvert, but it doesn't really change the fact that the loneliness feeling or being alone and having a sense of, you start to feel a little bit of the effects of something like that. And sure, to an extent, I would agree that society has changed in such a way where a lot of people are having a more difficult time making friends or connecting with other individuals, or even opening their arms to new individuals. You have video games, for example. I remember when I was in middle school and I'd go home, me and my friends will hop online on Call of Duty or whatever video game we're playing, GTA. Everyone in the servers are talking. Everyone in the lobby is talking. Whether we talking mess or we just joking or just conversing with new people, adding friends. And now I haven't seen much of that. It's very, very rare to see someone on the microphone talking. You might catch them typing and texting, but actually speaking into the mic and having conversations is very, very rare. And I've noticed that it's been a big change. I'm not quite sure what changed that in the video game community. Sometimes I hear that it's like pressuring to feel like you're the only voice speaking and being judged. Other individuals say that they're now in party chats and they would rather just talk to the friends in the party chats. And everyone's doing that, or they're doing that more than previously. It's like a combination of things. And then you have social media like TikTok and Instagram and stuff like that. And people are, they're commenting, they're joking, they're making videos and whatnot. But it just stays on these websites. It stays on TikTok. It stays on Instagram. It rarely or hardly ever transfers over to real friendships. But of course, there are cases where people do make friends out of this. But again, I'm speaking from the loneliness standpoint, not from the making friends standpoint. Maybe in real life, I see people talking about this, or I overhear it in certain conversations or in group settings or with friends or whomever. So for me personally, I am an introverted person, so I do prefer being alone a lot of the time, or having a very small group a lot of the time. But it gets to a point where you may have friends who are way too busy, or you may have very little friends, so that when those ones are busy, it's hard to get in contact with anyone or hang out with anyone. So you're stuck doing things alone most of the time. And that's what happens. Like I said, it becomes a very noticeable thing. I personally go to the movie theaters a lot alone. I do prefer it, and it is fun. And when I go with friends, it's still a fun experience. It's a very different experience than going alone. I don't think I pay attention to the movie as much. I'm more having fun with the person I'm with. Maybe we talk about it after, or we don't talk about it at all and just go back to joking around and, doing friend stuff. So you still actually can have positives and negatives by doing things alone versus with people. The experience is a lot different. And that just depends on the type of person you are and whether or not you would like to experience these things. Now, of course, there are many of ways to make friends, make acquaintances, find a group, find people with the same interests as yours. People say, go get a hobby. Maybe be a regular at a store, a regular at this business, or go here or there a lot. Show your face a lot. Maybe start the conversation, maybe DM someone first. And these are all very good and valid ways to be able to do these things. But it still can be difficult because of how everyone is operating nowadays. Like I said, people might not want to welcome you in their group. They might just be satisfied with the people they have. And since there's so much negativity being shown online, people become a lot more distant and avoidant of the idea of meeting people because they're afraid to be done wrong or to be mistreated. And they would rather just stick to what they know because it's safe and secure. So that's just something I've observed for quite some time. Yeah, if I missed anything, please do let me know. I feel like there's a lot that I missed. Or if you'd like to vent, that's also fine as well. Maybe you can share your experience of why you feel like you're alone. Maybe, it's harder if you're neurodivergent and people might not understand you, or you feel like people don't understand you and you're alienated, or whatever the situation might be. And if you enjoyed this video, please, of course, leave a comment, leave a like, things of that nature. I appreciate it. And if you're new, welcome to the channel. You probably came from my other channels, or maybe you're new around here. In general, you've seen me for the first time. Whatever it is, I appreciate you for watching, and make sure you take care of yourself. And with that being said, take care, and I'll see you in the next video.